Okay, let's try this game out. It looks super cute. Okay, stop. Let's do an auto. I always like auto. Oh shit, wait. Okay, let's... Okay, let's try this game out. Let's start again. Come, hurry up. We have new people who will be joining us starting today. Her name is Sara Crewe, and she only recently arrived in England, so you must all make her feel welcome. How do you do? The room filled with a chorus of gently murmured greetings. Sara Crewe was her name, looked out upon a garden of strangers. Every face was turned to her, polite, attentive, and perfectly foreign. She felt more lost than she had ever been at. Let's see. Sara dear, as you can see, we have pupils here for all levels, but these three are particularly near your age. This is Miss Lavina Herbert. Charmed. You can already tell she's going to be posh. Miss Ermengarde St. John. Okay, she's nervous. And Miss Jessie Abbott. We're very pleased to meet you. Okay, so she's friendly. I am very pleased to meet you as well. I have never known very many girls near my age. Nor any other age. Sara's life before that point had been not isolated but sheltered. Her mother had died when she was born, leaving Sara to be raised by the young, handsome father, who was the only relation she had ever known. Some fathers had little time for their children, but Sara and her papa had always been quite close, reading books, playing games together every day. He treated her as a little confidant, sharing his thoughts with her as she were his peer and not a very young girl, and listened solemnly to the advice she gave in return, though he did not always follow it, like most dads. Sara had never felt lonely, but it must be said that she had very little experience in making new friends. Sara had never felt lonely, but it must be said that she had very little experience in making new friends. Sara's father, Captain Crewe, makes his home in India, and he is returning there as we speak. I shall expect you all to be very agreeable to her. Now, Sara, take your seat. Your father has informed me how very much you enjoy your studies, and I expect you to be a credit to the establishment. I am not certain how to become a credit, but I do wish to learn. This statement was This statement was met with muffled giggles. Confused Sara looked back at Miss Minchin for guidance. Take a seat, I said. Whoa. Alright. Alright. I'll take my seat. But which seat is mine? Concerned that she would look disobedient if she hesitated further, she slid into the nearest empty space. No one objected, and she let out a sigh of relief. Nearby, two girls turned to whisper to each other. What a way she has of speaking, so old-fashioned. Hush. And her eyes are such a queer colour. A funny-looking child, to be sure. Well, she isn't pretty as other pretty people are, but there is something about her. She makes you want to look at her again, to see what it is. And she has tremendously long eyelashes. Only you would know it's such a thing. Girls, kindly pay attention to your lessons. Yes, Miss Minchin. Oh, okay, so we've got like little activities too. That's pretty neat. Okay, so choose an activity fair food to perform. Oh my god, I can't get my words out today. Every activity has 3 possible outcomes, which will change the icons you receive. At the end of the week, Sarah's icons will be collected and turned into resources. Become knowledge, become artistry, become patience, become sympathy, become grace, become belief, and become vigor. Items are only converted at the end of the week. Until then, they can be changed or lost by other activities. Plan the order of your activities in order to get the best results for the week. Alright. I want to read a book. Oh, do I have to? Oh, I gotta pick one for the. Okay. Go for a walk. Tea party. Write in a diary. And read a book. And I'm done. Now the schedule that you have set will be carried out for each weekday. Sarah will point to randomly chosen results and those icons will appear on the right of the screen. You do not have to press to advance between days, it will happen automatically. You can adjust the speed of the activities from the preferences menu. Remember, icons are only converted to resources at the end of the week. A result of double all books will double your current books. Icons will not, but not your long-term knowledge resources, okay. So I got 3 books. I got a shell and a running person. I got a running person and a cross. I got 2 clocks, not books. I got 2 clocks. And I got a book and a shell. 4 books converts to 4 knowledge, converts to artistry, vigor, 2 patience, and 1 belief. My room. My 2 rooms just for me. Where's her cradle at the end of the bed? Sarah was what was known as a particular parlor border, where other girls were quartered in standard issued single rooms. She had a large bedroom, uniquely decorated in a separate sitting room with a comfy sofa. My papa had filled them with beautiful things, books, velvet cushions, lace dresses, and porcelain tea sets. Hats with great feathers that bob on them, even a tiger rug to remind me of India. It looks like a room that would belong to the daughter of Raja, an Indian princess. I only wish that this room would also contain my papa. Perhaps it does. He gave me all of these things, and whenever I touch them, I can imagine that he is with me. And when I read his farewell letter, I can hear his voice. My dear little missus, so here you are in the place you always knew you must go. But be of good cheer. You will not have to stay for a very long time. There will be a lot of girls, and you will play together, and I will send you plenty of books, and you will grow so fast that it will seem scarcely a year before you are big enough and clever enough to come back and take care of Papa. I am not in the least anxious about your education. You're always sitting with your little nose, burrowing in books, gobbling them up as if you are a little wolf instead of a girl. I have instructed Miss Minchin to drag you away from your books when you read too much, and make you go and ride your pony in the row, or buy a new doll. You ought to play with more dolls. Oh, Papa, if I bought a new doll every day, I would have too many to be able to make friends with them all. I am happiest with just Emily, and happier because I was with you when I met her. Emily, of course, was the name of the doll. A very special doll that Sarah had discovered when her papa took her to visit the premier toy shop in London. She was a large doll, but not too large to carry about easily. She had naturally curling golden brown hair, which hung like a mantle about her. Eyes were a deep, clear grey blue with soft, thick eyelashes, which were real eyelashes and not mere painted lines. At Sarah's instance, she had been given a wardrobe every bit as grand as Sarah's own, with frolics and coats and nightgowns and beautiful lace-trimmed underthings. She even had her own tiny lady's handkerchief, and her own cradle bed at the foot of Sarah's. Okay, that explains the bed then. Sarah lifted Emily up onto her lap and smiled at her just as she would another little girl. My papa is on the sea now, Emily. We must be very great friends to each other, intimate friends, and tell each other things. Look at me, Emily. You have the nicest eyes I ever saw, but I wish you could speak. She brushed Emily's hair fondly, settling her in pride of place. There are so many girls in this school. I have never seen so many children in one place before. I am afraid I shall not even remember all of their names. I have always known that someday I would be required to go away, to leave my home and my papa and come to England to be educated. I must do my duty even if I do not like it. I dare say soldiers, even brave ones, don't like going into battle, but must do it anyways, and not cry and fuss. So I must. But oh, it's so lonely. She could not know, of course, how her quiet sorrow might be misinterpreted by others. Miss Minchin, the rapporteur, had seen the lavish preparations for Sarah's pretty little room, and concluded that she was a child who has always been given her own way at the expense of others. Such a spoiled little girl might be expected to kick and scream and set the whole house into an uproar, but when abandoned by her own parent, that she did not suggest to Miss Minchin that Sarah cared nothing at all for her papa, but only for her dresses and toys. Such was not a thought that inspired sympathy in her heart for the newcomer. Just then there came sound at the door of Sarah's room. Sarah was not a girl given to fear or startle, but she had a healthy share of curiosity and went at once to see what it was. Outside sat a little girl, right on her bottom in the middle of the hallway. Her baby plump legs sprayed and the lace of her petticoats asked, askew, as if she had just toppled over. Which in fact she had. Hello there, who might you be? I'm Lottie. Her words were hard to make out. The fingers she had shoved in her mouth. Lottie? The fingers were withdrawn and wiped dry among the frills of her skirt. Lottie lay. Sarah smiled. Here then was a chance to meet just one person at a time instead of a crowd of strangers. Well then, I am Sarah. Now we are properly introduced. She held out a hand and helped the little girl to her feet. Was there something you wanted? May I look at your doll? Of course you may. Come and visit me in my room and we can have a tea party together. My papa left me a beautiful tea set with lilies painted on it. Emily has her own service as well, size for hands, because she is too small to hold one of my cups. I want to see. Come inside then and I'll introduce you to Emily. And that was Sarah's first week of classes at Miss Minchin's Select Cemetery? School. I'm just going to say school. For young ladies. Oh, I didn't press anything that already went to... Okay. Oh, it went back. That's why. Okay. Give me 2 seconds real quick on this page. Okay. So what do we have? Let's go to the Jessie chapter. Hello, Sarah. May I come in to visit? Sarah rose to her feet at once. You are very welcome. Please come inside. Jessie stepped into the room, then held out her skirt to drop a delicate curtsy in greeting. Okay. If you want to be that formal, okay. I know we have been introduced, but I wish to make your acquaintance more personally. And without Lavine listening in. Lavine, I thought that you and she were best of friends. Of course we are. I adore her. She's so classic, so elegant and focused, and I admire her very much. However, sometimes it is nice to do things for oneself. Are those real silk stockings you're wearing? Sarah blinked, caught unawareness by the change of subject. Yes, I have several pairs. My papa took me to so many shops while we were in London. They're darling. Mine are only Lisa cotton. May I see the pattern? Sarah sat down in a comfortable armchair, lifting the hem of her skirt slightly so that the floral embroidery over her ankles were visible. What little feet you have. I never saw such little feet. Are they small? She raised her leg a bit, pointing her toes and moving her foot this way and that. They seem the same size as they have always been, even though I know they must have been smaller when I was younger. I am sure Lottie's feet are smaller than mine, and Emily's, of course, are the smallest of all. Emily? Emily is the doll that my papa bought for me, from my companion. Sarah stood up and lifted Emily into her arms for Jessie to admire. Emily, this is Jessie Abbott, my new friend. The older girl dropped a beautiful curtsy and then laughed. Oh, she has silk stockings too. Stockings for such teeny tiny feet. How cute. But you do have small feet for your height, Sarah. I'm sure you do. Look at mine. Jessie pressed a foot upside Sarah's for comparison. I just don't know whether larger or smaller feet are better for dancing, I mean. If you dance with a partner, small feet would be better to avoid stepping on them. And they look very stylish in slippers. And slippers are cuter if they are smaller. But larger feet might be better for holding positions and standing on your toes. Small feet may not be as strong. Your feet have a good shape though. They are arched well. They're very pretty. Why are we even on this subject? What is this fascination she has with feet? Can feet be pretty? Depends on the feet. I mean, mine ain't. I can tell you that right now, mine ain't. Colonel Grange's little daughter Isabel in India was the prettiest girl I ever knew. All the gentlemen said she was the beauty of a regiment. She has dimples and round, rose-colored cheeks, pale blue eyes, and long curling hair, the color of gold. And everyone said those things were very pretty. No one ever spoke of her feet. I suppose if feet can be pretty, then perhaps I do have pretty feet. I know the rest of me is not. My hair is too black and straight and short. I am too thin and my eyes are a strange color. No, they're not. They're green. They're the same color as my eyes. They're green. Well, mine's a lighter green, but still, it's green. You do not have the same kind of beauty that dolls are made of, but that doesn't mean that you aren't pretty. I think you are quite interesting to look at. Sarah did not wish to contradict her new friend, who had no reason to lie, but her inner conviction said that she was an ugly little girl. Could not be so easily dispelled. Will you show me the rest of your dolls and clothes? Do all of your petticoats have so many lace frillings? Do you? Do you think any of them would fit me? I don't know. I suppose we could find out. New week. On Sunday morning, students gathered in the entrance hall of Miss Minchin's select school. Girls, are you ready? Form up into a line behind Lavina. Sarah dear, it is our custom to walk to and from church every Sunday when the weather permits. That allows the horses a day of rest and ensures that students receive regular exercise. Oh, it's one of those types of schools. Yes, my eyes are. In real life, yes. It is important to look your best when we are walking out among the public. We want our school always to leave a good impression. Okay, good night then. You should follow Lavina's cues and she will show you what to do. Lavina is always a model student. As if hearing her name, Lavina smiled and tilted her head. You could learn a great deal from Lavina, dear, and as her father is also posted to India, the two of you should have much in common. I'm sure you'll make close friends. Now go and stand in line behind her. Sarah made her way to the front of the line where Jessie and Lavina stood close together. What are you doing? Go to the back. Miss Minchin told me to stand behind you. She said you were a model. Oh, very well then. That's my place. You wouldn't want to disobey Miss Minchin, would you? No. We have to show our new girl how to behave herself in church. She may never have seen one before. Sarah thought it wisest to remain silent. Asshole. I'm gonna practice dancing. I'm gonna play with toys. I'm gonna go for a walk. I'm gonna practice dance. No, I'm gonna do tea party. There we go. Okay, so I gain 1 knowledge. I gain 1 runner. I gain... Oh, Tuesday I did get... Oh, did I not pick anything for Tuesday? Damn it. Oh, I thought I picked something for Tuesday. That sucks. A knock came at the door. Sarah dear. Yes. Is there... Oh, hello. Bonjour, mademoiselle. Miss Minchin hissed through her teeth, and the young woman in the maid's uniform fell silent. Sarah, before he left, your father arranged for a maid to be employed, especially for your needs. She has just arrived. I believe she is from France. Yeah. I mean, did not the bonjour twig that? Yes. Her name is Marionette, and she will be living in your rooms, helping you with your clothes in the morning and anything else you require. Please use her as your liaison with the staff. If you have need of food, send your maid rather than speaking to cook directly. And don't let her fool you. She doesn't speak the Queen's tongue. Huh? She swept out of the room, leaving the maid and her new little mistress blinking at each other in confusion. Bonjour, mademoiselle. Oh god, I can't speak French, so I'm not even gonna try. Oh, what did he say? That no other little girl is as solemn as you, and that you would make me smile. But why would being solemn make someone smile? Ah, it is your Genius. It is you. Now, why don't you show me around your rooms? Okay, what should we do now? What should we do now? Oh, Marionette. Well, I've got no chance but to do Marionette, so okay. Marionette, may I... Is it alright if I ask you a few questions about yourself? Oh, what do you wish to know? What is your family name? Miss Minchin did not say. Dumas, mademoiselle? Oh, are you a relative of the great French writer, the author of the Three Musketeers? Marionette chuckled kindly. No, mademoiselle. Oh, well, not in a close way, I am not. There are many with the name of Dumas, and I cannot know what connections there are between all people. Do you know all of your cousins and your cousins and your cousins? Oh my god. And all who bear the name of Crewe? I do not know anyone else named Crewe except for myself and my papa. So you see, I cannot say who my relatives might be at some distance. Sarah nodded. Where in France do you come from? I grew up in Limoges. You may have heard of the Limoges box, the porcelain? Sarah shook her head. Ah, well, they were famous once. Perhaps they will be again. For now, like much of the Limoges, they have faded. What is it like there? Ah, what is it like anywhere? It is a city, not so large as Paris or London, no. Is it near Paris? It is in the south. You must rely on the railways to travel between them. All trains lead to Paris. Sarah tried to picture it. She did not know Limoges, but it was if the south, then it must be warm and green, and surely she had seen paintings of France, stone houses, arches, buildings, rolling greens, hanging vines, and sunlight, always sunlight. Not the fogs of London. It must be lovely. As you say, mademoiselle. How did you come to take this position? What I mean to say is, my papa and I did not have time to visit France, and I did not meet you until you came here. Did you meet my papa somewhere else? No. We have never met in flesh and blood. Your papa, he is a gentleman and knows many other gentlemen in fine cities like Paris. When it happened that he wished to appoint a maid, he wrote to the Paris gentleman to describe you. And I have a cousin who works for this Paris gentleman, and he thought of me. And so the arrangements were made, and I'm glad that they were. Sara smiled. The gentle warmth of Marionette's regard was very comforting for a little girl. Anyone who had been separated from her family and made to live in a far-off place. It was true that Marionette was, for the most part, only another stranger like any other in Miss Minchin's school. They were only just beginning to know each other. And yet Marionette was not simply a stranger who might come and go like students. She was Sara's maid, the beginnings of her very own household. She might in time be the closest thing to family. I wonder about the friend my papa has in Paris. I wonder if he ever knew my mother. It was the beginning of another week of classes, and the students were seated neatly in the rows of the schoolroom. Miss Minchin walked up and down between the desks, ensuring each pupil's head was borrowed to particular lessons. She paused beside Sara, a book in her hand. Now, Sara, as your papa is engaged a French maid for you, I conclude that he wishes you to make a special study of French language. I think he engaged her because he thought I would like her, Miss Minchin. I am afraid that you may have been something of a spoiled little girl, and as such, you always imagine that things are done because you like them. It is a fault in you, and one that must be endeavoured to train away. My impression, Sara, is that your papa wished for you to learn French. I have never really learned to speak French, but that is quite enough. You have never learned, and so you must begin at once. The French master, Monsieur Dufage, will be here in a few minutes. Take this book at it and look at it before he arrives. Dutifully, Sara stares at the illustrated pages in front of her. Le Pere, the father, Le Pere, the mother. You look rather cross, Sara. I am sorry you do not like the idea of learning French. I am very fond of it, but you must not say but when you are told to do things. Miss Abbott, young ladies should not make dreadful sniggering noises. Yes, Miss Minchin. Sara, look at your book again. Yes, Miss Minchin. Lee feels the son, Lee Frere the brother, oh dear. Shortly after, Monsieur Dufage arrives in the classroom. The French master was an elderly gentleman with a neatly trimmed moustache and beard, the hair that flew outwards into a dramatic point. His eyes lit up when he caught a sight of unfamiliar little girl puzzling over a book of French phrases. Ah, is this a new pupil for me, madame? Her papa, Captain Crewe, is very anxious that she should begin the language, but I am afraid she has a childish prejudice against it. She does not seem to wish to learn. I am very sorry to hear that, mademoiselle. Perhaps when we begin to study together, I may show you that it is a charming tongue. Little Sara rose in her seat. She was beginning to feel rather desperate. I'm not even going to try and attempt that. She began to explain quite simply in pretty and fluid French. Madame has not understood. She has not learned French exactly, not out of books, but her papa and other people have always spoken it to her. And she had read it and written it as she had read and written English. Her papa loved it, and she loved it, but he did, because he did. Her dear mama, who had died when she was born, had been French. What on earth? What is she saying? Is this some form of a joke? Madame, there is not much I can teach her. She has not learned French. She is French. Her accent is exquisite. You ought to have told me. I tried. I suppose I did not begin right. Giggles. Miss Minchin slapped her hand upon the desk. Silence, young lady. Silent at once. And though the other students soon settled back into proper schoolroom behaviour, Miss Minchin's lips remained tightly pressed together whenever she looked at Sarah. Okay, let's go for a walk, play with toys, read a book, practice dance, and go for a walk. Okay. The French language fell naturally from Sarah's lips. There was other lips from which it seemed it could not escape at all, no matter how long the owner stared at her workbook. To Ermengarde, it had seemed almost unbelievable that a girl of her own age could stir together so many words of French as if they were mere trifles. Dismayed at her own failings, she was devoting more effort than usual to the trial of understanding her lessons. Her elbow raised on the desk, her hands under her chin, as she repeated the broken syllables under her breath. She stared so hard and bit the ribbon of her pigtails so fast that she attracted the noise of Miss Minchin, who, feeling extremely cross at the moment, immediately pounced upon her. Miss St. John, what is the meaning of such conduct? What? Remove your elbows, take your ribbon out of your mouth, and sit up at once. Yes, Miss Minchin. Matters did not improve for Miss St. John when the French master himself arrived. Good bread, Li Bong Pang. Kindly though he was, Monsieur de Farage could not help but smile at her pronunciation. That is not quite correct. Girls, conduct yourself. It isn't funny, really. They ought to not laugh. Poor thing. It was a way of hers always want to spring into any fray in which someone was made uncomfortable or unhappy. However, there was no way for a hero to defend or rescue Ermengarde from the horrors of education, at least not until the lesson period had concluded. Okay, is there a way? Oh, here we go, I could save. Okay, I'm gonna leave this one here for now. This one's actually pretty interesting and pretty nice. I don't know if I'm gonna be talking in the rest of the other one, because it is actually hurting my voice having to talk all the way through it, and I don't want to lose my voice. So my next videos will probably be silent and not with me in it, but that'll give anybody that watches a chance to actually read it themselves, have it slowed down for them if they wish. Other than that, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It would help my channel out so much, and I hope everybody has an awesome day. Please, if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. It would help my channel out so much. And I hope everyone has been enjoying these videos. Please, if you have any games, any recommendation games, please link them either in my Discord or my community post. I would be so much grateful for any games that y'all would like me to play. And I hope to see everybody again. Bye.